Hello there, it's Tania Gabrielle, Wealth Astro-Numerologist, and welcome to your Sagittarius full moon Astro-Numerology forecast for May 29th. And this full moon happens at 3:19 p.m. in London Universal Time, 10:19 a.m. New York, and 7:19 a.m. in LA Pacific Time. Now, Sagittarius is always a welcome sign when it appears in the lunations, since Sagittarius is governed by Jupiter, the planet of joy and fortune, wisdom, expansion, higher learning, international travel. It's a beautiful planet, a beautiful sign, and it is one of two benevolent planets, actually, including Venus. Venus and Jupiter are considered in astrology the two benevolent planets, and Venus figures greatly in this full moon as well, as I'll share more in a moment. So this is a really special moment here that we're going to celebrate at the end of May. Now, this full moon happens the same day, May 29th, that Mercury enters its own sign of Gemini, with the sun in Gemini opposite the moon in Sagittarius to create that full moon effect. Having Mercury enter its own sign on the same day means there's going to be a big Gemini influence far and beyond what we usually get with a Sagittarius full moon. So that means your message, your communication, your words, your attention to how you communicate, share ideas, feelings, is really going to be brought home. And the reason is, when these two signs come together, the sign of Sagittarius, joy, expansion, fortune, and Gemini, message, you realize, oh my gosh, is my message actually positive and loving, or is my message more intellectual and cold? And of course, in this case, you'll see in a moment, with this incredible grand trine that's happening at the same time, you are being shown about the importance of speaking with kindness, speaking with a loving intention, no matter what. Because in the end, that is what people will remember. That's how your feeling that you generate from inside your heart is what leaves the biggest impact. It's not your intellectual understanding of things. That's, of course, important. But the most important factor in any communication is, has it come from the soul as opposed to the ego? Now, the 29th of May also brings home this powerful message, because 29 reduces to 11, which is that portal, being present. So not projecting the past onto the future, not worrying, not getting into past paradigms in your communication, but literally channeling what is appropriate for that moment. We often don't know what we need to say. In fact, usually we don't know what we need to say until we're face to face with somebody and tune into them energetically. So the whole point of communication is being present. And the 11 for the 29th of May is helping that even more. Very exciting. So 11 is always the gateway of the present moment to channel wisdom. So of course it governs psychic cognition, intuition, your instinctual responses. And in this case, of course, you're focusing on the positive, the Jupiter qualities, the Sagittarian qualities of abundance and expansion and intimate, joyful connections, love. Anything that Sagittarius represents, which is also, it's a very adventurous sign as well. It likes finding solutions. It's a fire sign in astrology. So there's a sense of being fired up with joy, or fired up with gratitude, fired up with truth, right? Wanting to get to the truth of the matter. Now, since the sun is in Gemini opposite Sagittarius, there's also a sense of offering peace of mind, where Gemini governs the mind, but the qualities of these other factors bring peace of mind, which is a whole different feeling than just talking about your thoughts and your intellectual processes. But being in a state of peace of mind allows the channeling to happen. That's when your mind is connected to your heart, right? That's what we're looking for here. Now, the sun is trine to Mars, while the moon is sextile Mars. They're forming this beautiful triangle filled with creativity, advancement through your creative power. Your instinctual sense is greatly heightened when Mars is engaged. You really want to listen to your gut. You want to trust your instincts because you're going to be filled with confidence if you do. Mars is that confidence planet. It's the sense of, putting a directional force and in this case, a new directional force onto something. So you want to observe where that directional force is taking you. Be the observer, because sometimes we don't know. We need to be in a place of great receptivity. And so this transit with Mars, this triad, this triangle, trine and sextile with Mars, engaging with the full moon, will make you very conscious of that and conscious of what your goals are, because Mars, again, it wants to go somewhere. So you want to act on your goals. You want to act on your feelings, your instinctual impulses now. Now, Mars is also square to Uranus during this full moon, and this is a very highly active square. Squares wake us up. They light a fire under us to act. So in this sense, you're going to have a deep yearning for being free, being independent. Uranus rules freedom. Mars is saying go for it. There's going to be some tension about that. So you'll need to act on your instinctual energy to be independent. And you want to put things into physical form as well. So you need to put those ideas or those inspirations that come through into a usable, a practical way of being manifested. You need to put those into action. Otherwise, you're going to feel tense, nervous, because this energy is really strong. It's a big energy surge. It's very electrical. It can result in overexcitement or stimulation or overreaction or acting rashly, right? So it's very important to breathe in love, breathe in inspiration, be very creative, because this energy is so super creative. It really activates your inner genius, actually. So be very conscious of the fact that you have these abilities to intuit some wonderful ideas and breakthrough activities that will fire you up. The sun is in conjunct Saturn. That means 150 degrees in astrology. It's a very creative degree, and Saturn will always leave a lasting impact. Saturn is the great teacher. Saturn is time, chronos. Saturn brings creative endurance when it's merging with the sun in this way. So there's a sense of, if you do take time to be alone, which Saturn always asks you to do, you can integrate those many gifts that are appearing in your life right now, including the ability to channel on the spot. Now, a lot of people, just talking about the word channeling, they think it's, something taking over you, taking over your body or taking over your voice, and that's not at all what channeling is. Composers channel, artists channel, scientists channel ideas. We are constantly, if we're in tune, listening to hear what is appropriate to say, write, or do. That is all a form of channeling. So basically, channeling is when you're open to receive the word of God, the word of spirit, the sounds, the perception that is integrated at that moment with your surroundings, with your environment, with the people you're with. And we do this all day long when we're actually in sync, right, and feeling in the flow. So when you're in the flow, there's a sense also of timelessness. You don't feel like you need to look at the clock or get distracted, because you just feel good and you're at peace of mind, right? That what we looked at before. So to help us with that, there's an incredible gift in this full moon, and that's a fantastic grand trine. Now, on Friday, May 25th, Neptune and Jupiter were exactly trine each other for the second of 3 times. And during this full moon, they're still trine, and they're forming another aspect, which is a trine to Venus. So that creates the grand trine between Neptune, Jupiter, and Venus, right? So all 3 together. The grand trine is the most fortunate aspect in astrology, and it really is about evolving the soul in a very harmonious way. And this gorgeous grand trine happens in the water signs. So it couldn't be more beautiful. It couldn't be more helpful. It really is a deep empowerment from the heart, an empowerment of love, an empowerment of an activation of your intuition. Water signs are so intuitive. The water signs, by the way, are Cancer and Scorpio and Pisces. Those are the three. So, we have this incredible moment right now where Venus has come around and made this big triangle in the sky happen. So Venus is about love, beauty, values, money, abundance, luxury, pleasure. Jupiter governs fortunate events, positive outlook, expansion, tremendous happiness, wisdom, higher learning, wealth. And Neptune makes it all lasting. Neptune is ever expansion, forever and ever. It reaches everywhere. It is unconditional love. It is spirituality. It is brotherhood and sisterhood. And so this grand trine couldn't be more gorgeous. It really is extraordinary, and it is basically firing you up to be receptive, because Neptune is involved and Neptune receives. Neptune is all about, bringing it all together in a watery way, like accepting everything, exploring everything, not saying no to anything, researching everything. And there's so much generosity, there's so much gratitude as you psychically engage and engage in a heart-centered way. Basically, you can travel with your heart and mind to anywhere now. This could be physical exploration as well, but it will take you out of your comfort zone to a distant place you haven't visited before. This is very multidimensional, very galactic, but in a harmonious way. It's pleasurable as well because of Venus being involved. And it certainly activates your ability to create abundance. So you definitely want to focus on your abundance goals. They are truly allowing you to investigate how you can be creatively engaged, happily engaged, feeling positive about where you're going, and making sure that you activate that joy within you. So take advantage of this Sagittarius full moon. It is absolutely stunning. I want you to really bask in your imagination. I want you to act on the inspiration that comes through you, the divine downloads that you're receiving, because it's going to be incredible what you can achieve at this time and what you can receive at this time. And don't forget, I do cover all the important moments in between the full moon and new moon in my weekly forecast, which are free. All you need to do is go and click on this link and sign up on that page that you are led to with your email address, and then I just let you know what the weekly forecast is every Sunday when you receive an email in your inbox. And that weekly forecast basically goes through the major themes of the weeks, and then I go through the highlights of each week. So enjoy, have a gorgeous, gorgeous Sagittarius full moon, and I'll see you next time when we have our new moon in Gemini.